He was a millionaire and a paedophile, but one of Maurice Van Ryn's victims hasn't seen a cent of compensation. The former Bega Cheese boss declared bankruptcy before he went to prison. So where did all that money go? Lawyer Andrew Carpenter believes Van Ryn moved his fortune into his super, meaning victims can't touch it. He's been fighting to change this legal loophole for almost 6 years alongside actor and activist Madeline West, and today, finally, some progress. Thank you so much for joining me. Andrew, can you explain what these offenders are getting away with?
So right now there's currently a loophole where offenders are able to legally hide their money in superannuation, so victim survivors cannot access that to satisfy any judgment or settlement sum.
So they get convicted, they lock away their life savings in super, then declare bankruptcy.
Not even convicted, it's when people are sued, they are able to legally get rid of their assets and victim survivors can never attack them.
So, Madeline, you're a survivor of child abuse yourself. How damaging is a loophole like this for victims?
It's absolutely devastating, Ali, and I just want to say thank you very much for bringing us on to talk about what is a very uncomfortable and seldom addressed issue. But it's really double jeopardy for a victim. So for these people who are carrying around a lifelong burden of pain, shame and self-disgust, realistically, to finally reach a point of seeking justice and then to be told, well, there's nothing available for you because this person has locked it away.
So it's like being victimised all over again.
Absolutely, completely re-traumatised. And it's ostensibly society's saying, well, you're not worth it.
Wow.
You've come this far and you're still not worth it.
So Van Ryn's victim, he was awarded $1.4 million in compensation. Has not received a cent.
Nothing.
He won't. The bankruptcy will extinguish that. And that's the purpose of this campaign, is to make sure that bankruptcy will not make these debts go away, and hiding your funds in superannuation will then be clawed back to the victim survivors to satisfy any judgment or settlement. Because
that just means, you know, they eventually get out of jail and here's this fortune
and
just waiting for them. Get on with your life.
Yeah.
You both met with the Federal Assistant Treasurer today. What did you put to him and what was the response?
We put 1 in 3 girls and 1 in 5 boys will be sexually abused before their 18th birthday.
And that's the reported cases. I think it's really important to point that out. This is a heinously underreported crime, and for good reason. It's so difficult to talk about. But the stats existing are 1 in 3 and 1 in 5. That means every person walking around on the streets has either experienced it themselves or know someone who has. It's staggering statistics.
So was he open to closing this loophole?
He was. With a 0.03% conviction rate, he thought that there is actually a need for financial deterrence to stop people from offending, because it's not a problem we can arrest out of. It's not an accountability problem now, it's a knowledge problem.
Are you feeling confident it will actually happen now, or is this going to get kicked down the road again?
Well, I started this change in 2020 and the Liberal government started discussing it in 2018. So it's been 7 years.
And there was movement in 2016. So this has been percolating for a very long time.
So is it just too hard? Is that their problem with it?
It's uncomfortable. It's not the conversation people want to have. And I always say, if you're a parent, grandparent, auntie and uncle, this is something you need to address. Just try and stamp this out, because you think 20 years ago we didn't speak about mental health. 10 years ago never spoke about domestic violence. Anyone with children needs to stand up and say, you know what, if we can throw everything we can to deter this vile offending, why wouldn't we do it?
Now is the time to strike, and it will act as a deterrent. The idea of someone possibly losing their life savings might just be enough to make them think twice about harming an innocent child.
Yeah. And Andrew, will this apply to other criminals like murderers or just child sex offenders?
No, child sex offending is the only standalone crime that has no legal justification. You think with murder you can argue self-defence, with drink driving you can say you had to rush someone to the vet. There is no legal justification to sexually abusing a child.
And that's been held up by the High Court.
Yes.
So if this gets across the line, it's not going to take away that pain for survivors, but what difference will it make, Madeline?
It's going to make an enormous difference, because it means they've spoken their truth, they've fought to reclaim their history, and society listened. And that's so important. And if we see movement in this space, it's going to encourage more reporting. With more reporting, we're going to see more convictions. The judiciary will start handing down sentences that actually meet the crime. And we might have a hope of extinguishing this heinous crime before it gets any worse.
And right now it's the taxpayer that's indemnifying the perpetrators of these offendings, because they're now forcing the Australian taxpayer to meet damages by victims of crime, by Medicare, PBS, Centrelink, all while these victim survivors don't pay a cent back into it. And that's a real incentive. Taxpayers should want this change because it deters offending, it compensates victims, and it will make sure that the offenders stop and think. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah. Well, look, thank you both for pushing so hard for so long. Let's hope this change goes through and quickly.
Thanks, Ali.
Thank you for having this uncomfortable conversation with us. And
if you or someone you know is experiencing sexual abuse or family violence, there is help. Call 1-800-RESPECT. That's 1-800-737-732.